when you have goals, when you set clear, specific goals, you're basically like a heat-seeking homing missile that's
Yeah.
actively closing in on its target. Like you're focused.
Yeah,
You
you're on
get up in the
fire.
morning and you're ready to just get after it. Like you know what the mission is, you know what the outcome is, so you know what you have to do in order to facilitate that. So you get up inspired. You might not always feel amazing, but you know where you're going, and therefore you do what you have to do, even on those days where you're not feeling like super pumped up about it.
Yeah.
And that's a big fucking deal. So just to give you guys like some perspective on, like, there's been all kinds of studies out there that have conveyed the importance and just how effective it is to actually set goals, and not just set goals, but set goals the right way, where you're getting them down on paper and all that. In 1979, there was a graduating class of MBAs at the Harvard School of Business. Okay, and they basically did a study, and they interviewed all of the members of that graduating class, and they asked them one simple question: have you set clear written goals and made plans to accomplish them? So 3% had set clear written goals. 13% said that, well, they claimed they had goals, but of course they weren't in writing. And 84% had no goals at all, other than what they had planned on doing that summer.
And these are all people at Harvard.
Harvard, no, not just at Harvard.
Yeah.
MBAs at the School of Business, which is one of the most elite business institutions in the
very
entire
interesting.
world. It is. Yeah. So what's even more interesting is the fact that 10 years later, as part of this this case study, they caught up with all those people, and they concluded that the 13% who claimed to have goals but didn't have them written down, they were actually making twice as much income as the 84% who had no goals. All right. The really fascinating part, and just extremely compelling part that supports the argument that we're discussing today, the 3% who had goals written down and an action plan to facilitate the objective, they were earning 10 times more than the other 97% combined.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that makes sense to me, because every time you write something down, every time you think about something, the more you plan everything, the greater chance you have of making it work.
Yeah, and that's the 3%. I mean, obviously that number is important. I have it tattooed on my forearm here, and we've used it, in some of our branding with Nutrition Solutions. But that's I mean, it's not hard for me to believe that at all. It's just not, because again, like, it doesn't matter if you're a former junkie with no education, no family, or whatever, or evidently a graduate of the Harvard Business School. Like, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a target, like, I mean, it's you're not going to go anywhere. It's as simple as that. It truly doesn't matter how smart you are, how experienced you are, how talented you are. If you don't have a target in mind, if you don't have a clear vision and focus of where it is that you want to go, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, and if you're someone listening and you don't have a plan, if you start thinking about something and you put a plan together, you'll be shocked at how much on fire you become to get to the end of that finish line.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
So why is this? Like, why is it that setting and writing our goals down is so effective and important? Well, the summary thesis between basically all religions, philosophy, metaphysics, psychology, and just success principles is basically the fact that you become what you think about most of the time, right? What we think about most of the time is ultimately what is created in our reality. Okay? So whatever we're thinking about internally will ultimately mirror back in our reality. And how can we support that with a few examples to kind of put that in perspective? People who have health problems, right? People who have health problems who always talk about their health problems, right? They're always complaining that they don't feel good. They got this appointment, that appointment. They get to, like, dude, that is all they're thinking about. That's where they're putting their energy, and that's what's going to continue to happen. They're going to continue to have more health problems, okay? And a way to take that even further, to kind of like validate how that's like a real thing is when, you'll have somebody that goes in for a checkup. They'll go for a medical exam, and like they're just, again, a routine exam, not something that they're going for, because they're not feeling well, or this is happening and I want to get looked at. It's a routine, like, annual checkup. They go, and after the appointment, a doctor calls them, somebody calls them, and then lets them know that they've found cancer in any part of their body, whatever, they have cancer. And then in a short period of time, that individual's health radically deteriorates, and perhaps they die in a short period of time. Now, before them getting that knowledge, before them being made aware by, their physician that they had the cancer, they didn't feel all these things. That all of a sudden now this onset of these insane symptoms that just destroys their health and takes them out in a short period of time. Why is that?
Which is a great example of how powerful your mind is,
Exactly.
and how powerful your thoughts are.
Your thoughts have the ability to make you sick, and they have the ability to make you well.
And they've studied it, and their cell biologists have studied it, and
it's a real thing.
It's a real physical thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't get the amount of mainstream media coverage that it should and deserves, due to the fact that, like, they want people to be dependent on medications and pumping care into the system, and then obviously there's the population control thing. That's a real thing that.
And I mean, if you think about it just logically, whenever you think something with anger, you're creating chemicals in your brain. Whenever you're thinking something happy, you're also producing chemicals in your brain. So if you're thinking of those things enough and you're creating enough chemicals, those chemicals will affect you on a cellular level at some point down the line. So
same as it relates to people who, I can't lose weight because, right? Whether it's I can't lose weight because, I have a thyroid issue. I can't lose weight because, I have a bad back. I can't lose weight because, just fill in the fucking blank, dude. Like, everybody has a fucking thing. And the more they say that shit, the more they hardwire it into their belief system, and it becomes a core belief.
The same thing in business. I can't do this. No, how can I do this? That's how you have to rephrase it. How?
Yeah. But these are things that, again, like, what you think about, you become most times. So if you're thinking that, you can't lose weight because, dude, you will never be able to lose weight, ever.
Yeah.
Like, it just won't happen. You come up with all these convenient narratives that excuse you from any form of person. It's not your fault. It's a thyroid issue. It's got to be a thyroid. It's not your fault. Like, it's genetics. It's not your fault. Like, your legs up so you can't get after it. It's like, dude, like, I swear to God, like, if anything really bad happened to me, like, I got in like a wreck or something, and maybe like became what's a paraplegic? If I lost, like, use of, like, my legs and all that. Paraplegic.
Yeah.
I would almost kind of be pumped up for, like, that opportunity to, like, show people that you can actually still be a fucking, like, Greek statue, like, carved out of fucking stone. It's like there's a hell of a lot more things that you can do than things that you can't, if you have, like, pre-existing injuries and shit like that. But what are you doing? You're focusing on the fact that, I can't do this because, and it's like, your mind believes everything that you tell it. So you got to be careful. You got to treat it good. Yep. You got to tell your mind the right things. You got to tell yourself the right things. It's going to believe whatever you want. Just this, like, I can't lose weight because that's bullshit. It's not true. It is not true. You're not the one person in the history of human beings that is physically incapable of, because of some genetic mutation this world has never seen. You are not that person. I promise you that. And it just starts with just dropping that narrative of why you can't do this or that.